America lost a president.
President John F. Kennedy.
60 years ago today, President John F. Kennedy.
President John F. Kennedy.
He was the golden boy of American politics, a war hero, a Pulitzer Prize winner, and the youngest elected president in U.S. history. But on a sunny afternoon in Dallas, his life ended in a burst of gunfire, leaving behind a trail of secrets that still haunt the nation 6 decades later. Why does the assassination of John F. Kennedy remain one of history's most tantalizing mysteries? And what hidden truths lie buried beneath decades of classified files and whispered conspiracies? Born into wealth and political ambition in 1917, John Fitzgerald Kennedy was groomed for greatness by a father determined to see a Kennedy in the White House. Despite a childhood plagued by illness, scarlet fever nearly killed him at age 3, John F. Kennedy grew into a fiercely competitive athlete and scholar, his Harvard education punctuated by a near-fatal spinal injury that foreshadowed a lifetime of pain. World War II cemented his legend. After his PT-109 boat was sunk by a Japanese destroyer, he swam miles to save his crew, dragging a wounded sailor by his teeth, a story that later fueled his political mythos. Yet behind the charm lay a man battling Addison's disease, chronic back pain, and a family legacy that demanded perfection. Kennedy's rise was meteoric. Elected to Congress at 29 and the Senate by 35, he leveraged his war hero status and telegenic charisma to defeat Richard Nixon in 1960's razor-thin election. His presidency, dubbed Camelot, blended Cold War brinkmanship with progressive idealism. He stared down Soviet missiles in Cuba, championed civil rights, and launched the Peace Corps. But shadows loomed. The disastrous Bay of Pigs invasion, covert CIA plots to assassinate Fidel Castro, and a private life marred by extramarital affairs and amphetamine dependency. The defining moment of Kennedy's life, and perhaps the most haunting chapter, came on November 22, 1963 in Dallas, Texas. As the nation watched in disbelief, John F. Kennedy was assassinated, a moment that sent shockwaves around the globe. The circumstances surrounding his death have since become one of the most scrutinized events in modern history. Police arrested Lee Harvey Oswald, a man who hated America and had ties to the Soviet Union. But 2 days later, Oswald was shot dead by a nightclub owner, Jack Ruby, on live TV. Ruby claimed he did it to spare Jackie Kennedy pain. The government's official report said Oswald acted alone, but many questions remained unanswered. The secrecy surrounding Kennedy's assassination has fueled decades of debate and speculation. Despite the passage of time and the release of some documents, significant portions of the investigation remain shrouded in mystery. National security concerns, the potential exposure of intelligence methods, and conflicting narratives have all contributed to a veil of secrecy that continues to obscure the full truth. This enduring ambiguity has given rise to a myriad of conspiracy theories, each suggesting that there is more to the story than what official accounts have revealed. Some argue that powerful interests, both domestic and international, may have had a hand in covering up vital information, ensuring that the complete story never sees the light of day. Kennedy represents not only a promising leader, but also a symbol of lost potential, a beacon of hope that was extinguished too soon. His life, marked by extraordinary achievements and tragic loss, serves as a constant reminder of the fragility of leadership and the enduring quest for truth. Why does the U.S. government still withhold files about that day? Was Oswald really the only killer, or did someone else plan it? The answers may lie in the shadows. If you want answers, like this video to show you care about the truth. Subscribe to join us in uncovering history's biggest secrets. Comment below. What's your theory about JFK's assassination?